Mr. Homan is the point person for cooperating with state and local authorities and corresponding with them, again, to achieve this level of cooperation to subdue the chaos on the streets of Minneapolis.
The Trump administration is under fire after the fatal shooting of ICU nurse Alex Pretti by federal agents in Minneapolis sparked bipartisan backlash and protests. U.S. President Donald Trump has sent border CR Tom Homan to Minnesota to oversee ICE operations, a move seen as possibly sidelining DHS Secretary Kristi Noem amid rising criticism. Kristi Noem's strong defense of ICE actions has intensified political pressure, with lawmakers and commentators calling for her resignation and investigation.
One is looking forward. The role of Mr. Homan, is he being sent by the president to diffuse the situation that exists right now on the ground? Is he the point person essentially for the White House in terms of trying to tamp down the tensions that exist right now in Minnesota?
Well, Mr. Homan is the point person for cooperating with state and local authorities and corresponding with them, again, to achieve this level of cooperation to subdue the chaos on the streets of Minneapolis. And I would just point out that Mr. Homan is someone who has been lauded for many, many decades for his experience working in law enforcement. In fact, this is a Washington Post headline from 9 years ago, 2016. Meet the man the White House has honored for deporting illegal immigrants. And I would remind everyone in this room that it was former President Barack Hussein Obama who awarded a medal to Mr. Homan. So he's obviously very qualified. He has the full trust and faith of the president. He will continue to have these meetings in the hopes that ICE and local law enforcement can cooperate and work together to have successful immigration enforcement, as we've seen in almost every other state across the country.
Meanwhile, several reports claim Gregory Bovino has been removed as the U.S. Border Patrol's commander-at-large and will return to California. However, the Department of Homeland Security pushed back on reports that Border Patrol official Greg Bovino has been removed from duty in Minneapolis. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin denied the claims, calling Bovino a key part of President Trump's team. She said Bovino remains in his position and continues to have the confidence of the White House.
With Homan now going to Minnesota, is Gregory Bovino also going to remain in Minnesota overseeing these ICE operations?
Mr. Bovino is a wonderful man and he's a great professional. He is going to very much continue to lead Customs and Border Patrol throughout and across the country. Mr. Homan will be the main point of contact on the ground in Minneapolis.
Bovino had become a visible symbol of the administration's aggressive immigration crackdown. The controversy follows the fatal shooting of Alex Jeffrey Pretti during a protest in Minneapolis over the weekend. It was the second fatal shooting involving a federal immigration agent in Minneapolis this month. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt appeared to distance President Trump from comments made by senior officials after the shooting of Alex Pretti in Minneapolis. Asked about remarks from Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller, Leavitt said she has not heard the president characterize Pretti in that manner.
Mary.
To follow on Gabe's question, Secretary Noem said Alex Pretti committed an act of domestic terrorism. Stephen Miller labeled Pretti a domestic terrorist. Does the president agree with them?
Look, as I've said, I have not heard the president characterize Mr. Pretti in that way. However, I have heard the president say he wants to let the facts in the investigation lead itself.
Was he alarmed to hear his top officials referring to him in that way, rushing to that judgment?
Danny, go ahead.
Thanks, Caroline. On Stephen Miller's comments, will Stephen Miller be apologising to the family of Alex Pretti for calling him quotes, an assassin who tried to murder federal agents, despite the fact that, as you say, this is still under investigation?
Look, again, this incident remains under investigation, and nobody here at the White House, including the President of the United States, wants to see Americans hurt or killed and losing their lives in American streets. And we mourn for the parents. As a mother myself, of course, I cannot imagine the loss of life, especially losing one's child. And that same empathy from the president goes for the parents of angel families, parents of victims of illegal alien crime across our country as well. And that's exactly why the president continues to be wholeheartedly committed to deporting the worst of the worst criminals from our country.
Earlier in January, another 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good was killed during a separate encounter. This intensified political pressure on Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Noem has been a vocal defender of the agents involved in the shootings and has also been described as a key backer of Bovino within the administration. Her close advisor, Corey Lewandowski, is also facing scrutiny, according to reports. Multiple Trump senior aides, including Chief of Staff Susie Wiles and immigration policy lead Stephen Miller, have turned against Kristi Noem and her top advisor, Corey Lewandowski, amid fallout from the Minneapolis enforcement controversy. Meanwhile, President Trump appeared to signal a shift in tone following the shootings. He said he spoke with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. Trump described the conversations as cooperative and said they were on a similar wavelength.
It is President Trump's hope and wish and demand for the resistance and chaos to end today. That's why President Trump spoke with Governor Walz directly this morning, and he has outlined a clear and simple path to restoring law and order in Minnesota. Number one, Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and all Democrat leaders should turn over all criminal illegal aliens currently incarcerated in their prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with any illegal aliens with active warrants or known criminal histories for immediate deportation. Number two, state and local law enforcement must agree to turn over all illegal aliens who are arrested by local police. And then thirdly, local police must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes, especially violent crimes. If Governor Walz and Mayor Frey implement these common sense cooperative measures that I will add have already been implemented in nearly every single other state across the country, Customs and Border Patrol will not be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota. ICE and local law enforcement can peacefully work together, as they are effectively doing in so many other states and jurisdictions. Additionally, President Trump is calling on the United States Congress to immediately pass legislation ending sanctuary cities once and for all. American cities should be safe sanctuaries for law-abiding citizens only, not for dangerous illegal alien criminals who broke our nation's laws and do not belong here. We hope Governor Walz will do the right thing and continue to work with President Trump to keep the American people safe following their call this morning. Americans overwhelmingly want exactly what President Trump is delivering: strong borders and strict immigration enforcement against the worst illegal aliens, of which there are still hundreds of thousands to deport from the interior of our country.
With respect to the call with Governor Walz this morning, the president described it as respectful. He said we seem to be on a similar wavelength, but you had strong criticism for the governor and the Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey just now. So could you explain the difference in tone between what the president had said in his True Social post and I think some of the criticisms that you just levied from the podium?
Fran, I think the criticisms that I laid out, I'm painting the picture for all of you in this room, are what led to the moment that we are in today, where Governor Walz and President Trump are having a conversation, a constructive and productive conversation to end the chaos and the lawlessness that has taken place in Governor Walz's state.
Prediction market odds for Kristi Noem's exit from the Trump cabinet have surged after she defended the fatal shooting of Alex Pretti in Minnesota. On Polymarket and Kalshi, Noem now leads all cabinet members as the most likely to leave first, with odds jumping above 40%.